Before I start, again with the exceptional experiences, I have to say a few words to what I mean with bonding style. It's anchored in the attachment theory. Attachment is a basic need, fundamental for human survival and reproduction. And as adults, we have so-called attachment representations, which we develop with our early attachment experiences in childhood, in the early years of our life. And so we have implicit systems of attachment-related thoughts, beliefs, emotions, behaviors, and normally they are not conscious. And but I talk now, use the term bonding because attachment is more or less a relationship of a person which she perceived as stronger and wiser. And bonding is a more general term, applies to all kinds of human and social relationships, and this is important for my talk. And the bonding style, in difference to the attachment representation, is more or less a manifest and observable bonding behavior of people. Hier geht's weiter. Yeah, and then we have prototypical bonding styles. They are very good empirical proof. And there's a secure autonomous style. People with this style have close relationships as a reliable source of security and a balanced interplay of autonomy and bonding. And there are an insecure dismissing bonding style. People with this style have an avoidance of close relationships, which they see as potentially threatening, and they have more an emphasis on autonomy and independence. Then we have an insecure and meshed style. These people longing for close relationships, but have also doubts about the reliability of the partner, and strong emphasis on bonding and clinging. And then we have, this is double. Then we have an insecure, disorganized style. Often people who have early trauma, and under circumstances they have a contradictory oscillation between behaviors of the different insecure bonding styles. These are typical styles, and I come back to the exceptional, to the patterns, ExE-patterns. You have seen before, and what we saw is that we have these 6 patterns, and you see poltergeist apparitions is very frequent. 35% of our counseling is on this pattern, and so on. And the interesting point is that these patterns, there is a systematic from a phenomenological perspective, then you can see that when it starts with coincidence phenomena, extrasensory perceptions or meaningful coincidence, this is something to do at first with perception. And it may be an internal perception that you have an internal representation, and then you see there's a coincidence to an external event, or you have external perceptions and have the impression that external events has some meaning to you. So, and then this is the so-called internal continuum, because all these phenomena are anchored in the self system. It can come to an internal intrusion in cases of internal presence and influences, when people have the feeling not only have extrasensory perceptions, but they have the feeling that they are influenced by foreign forces or other people, by black magic or voodoo or something like that. And it may come to an internal occupation where you feel possessed, and when there is mediumship and automatism, in case of our counseling cases, not by free will, so to say. So on the other side, we have a very similar thing, but with an external intrusion in cases of poltergeists and apparitions, and an external occupation if you have these typical nightmare sleep paralysis pattern, where you have the impression you cannot move, but you are bodily attacked, and an entity tries to enter your body. And what the really very interesting thing is that we have here on this continuum something like an ego-dystonic bonding in the self model, and in the end, a loss of autonomy when there is a loss of behavioral control. And on the other side, we have an ego-dystonic autonomy in the world model, which also here, then you have a loss of bonding. You can lose your bonding to your body in the sleep paralysis state, and you have an external autonomy, which is very exceptional, so to say, with poltergeist as cases or the entities who try to attack you from the outside. So you have a complementarity phenomenology, which is also very interesting, because this is only one slide to my presentation before. We can think that we have in the beginning, like it's more or less an embodiment approach, but not naturalistic. We have these psychophysical neutral domain. And at the beginning, we have a, so to say, an epistemic split between a system and an environment. And this split is always epistemic because we decide what is environment and what is a system. It's so to say. And then we have, if we describe systems, we have physical systems with self-organization on the biological level, with self-reproduction, with autopoietic systems. Then on the cognitive level, self-determination, and we have the self. And on the other side, we start with an environment, with an energy exchange, with a structural coupling, with interpersonality, and we have the world. And so we can see here something like the dual aspect monism thing, but coupled as with autonomy and bonding as structural determinants, like in the phenomenological patterns of the exceptional experiences. Yeah, and then we have also in these patterns the significant differences between social bonding. Here you see percent of high significant differences of people in partnership or single, not in partnership. So it is also a systematic complementarity. Here it's 50-50, but then you have a change, and then you have really an extreme change in this pattern concerning partnership. And our idea is that this has to do with bonding styles. People tend to be in partnerships or maybe also enmeshed in partnerships or have this dismissing style. And we have also this impression from our practice because, yeah, I'm a psychotherapist. We work with these people. Yeah, and then I have only 1 minute and then it's 2 minutes. Okay, and now we want to do, this is also, I would say, hypothetical. And now we want to make a study with the adult attachment prototype rating in the German translation. It's a semi-structured interview. It deals with bonding in the primary family as well as past and current relationships. And it's a standard and proven procedure, has already been used in many studies, and despite its duration of under 1.5 and 2 hours, it's comparatively economical if you compare it with the adult attachment interview, which is, so to say, the gold standard. Yeah, and we do these interviews with clients by video consultation. And we have also other questionnaires and instruments in this study. Our clients are clients who sought up the IGPP counseling due to stressful exceptional experience in the last 10 years. This is a period of mandatory documentation for psychological psychotherapists. They may suffer from mental disorders and be undergoing outpatient psychotherapy or psychiatric treatment. Exclusion criteria is the presence of mental disorder instability in which the interview could be too stressful for the participants, or delusional psychotic symptoms as a reason for counseling in the past, or their acute presence at the time of the study. The sample size, it's the first pilot study with 30 participants, 5 of each representing one of the 6 patterns you see. And we have the hypothesis with the different bonding styles. And we are 4 members of the IGPP counseling team. We have a training in this interview to do this interview, to make the ratings. And the project starts hopefully in September 2033. And if you are interested in all the background about this stuff, there is an article, and you can download it. It's in the British Psychological Society and Psychotherapy section review published, and it's 40 pages, and it's also with case examples with the for the patterns, and also with a little bit theoretical background. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Wolfgang. We have time for a couple of questions because we are short of time. So, anyone? No? Okay. Okay.
So, thank you, Wolfgang, for the presentation. I think it was very well stated, kind of like a little bit of the continuation or theoretical continuation of the presentation you did before. Have you considered any other dimensions, let's say, in this, because you have like 4, is there any other dimension that might be considered within the framework that you're developing?
Yeah, also dimensions concerning bonding styles, the interview which we use has more, so to say, sub-styles. It's more differentiated than the typical only four bonding styles. And I think it's very important because we have also many subgroups in our exceptional experience patterns, and it needs more differentiation. And the instrument starts with a rough classification in the classical styles, and then there are more differentiation. And yeah, it's a mix of, I would say, of an of a study with hypotheses, but it's also an exploration study because it's the first time. And I think really this, I wonder why. I researched and I read all the literature, and since decades, people search for correlates of exceptional experiences, gender, age, and things. But bonding styles, I found nothing concerning bonding styles. But bonding or attachment is I would say, is a big topic in psychology and in psychotherapy research, and it's the best known risk factor for developing mental disorders. So it's really amazing that that is so new, but it's also very it's great to do this research now.
Thank you, Wolfgang, very much. And I think we can move on to the final talk of the